Alright. Hello. I go by Polly Dooley on the internet. I like making stuff, and today I made something. Well, for the past week I've been making something. I've been making a setting called Earth3000. Current state. The inner solar system is under the hands of the Care system, whilst the rest of it is under EXO, the remains of humanity that fled and now live on Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and whatnot. Although not Jupiter. Care is an odd governing entity in this setting, seeking to never allow humanity to rule again, wishing to pacify it, having many sentient robots and whatnot. They strive to allow sentience to prosper, and the environments and ecosystems of Earth to be restored. That's their main goals. Their other goal is to kill off EXO and take the solar system into its hands, restoring order to current known sentience. CARE stands for Conservation, Aid, Research, and Exploration, by the way. Also, extra notes, the humans and robots, they live together as equals, and they live in a utopia, basically. Although there's still money, but it's run under a socialist authoritarian government. Yeah, that's pretty much it. They live together, they have fun, they're equal, and they're not racist against each other. They control Mars and Earth, and have ships patrolling the edges of the asteroid belt to keep out EXO forces. And speaking of EXO, they send death marks every once in a while in their grand crusade against these robotic overlords. They send death marks whenever they make a breakthrough through CARE's military fleets. They send out death marks to invade the planets that they currently inhabit, which is Earth and Mars. Death marks are robotic soldiers that are probably going to die. And you might be asking, Earth and Mars? I thought you said the inner system. It's because Venus is currently in a civil war where there are many land nations on it that are fighting each other to control the entire Venusian planet. And oh yeah, well, Venus is terraformed, as you can see by this picture. Continuing. Mercury is currently under quarantine due to the fact that there are a lot of infected things inside of the caves of Mercury. The caves of Mercury are giant, hollowed out, mined out, hollow caves filled with cities and whatnot. There was this infection and it killed off a lot of people, and there's practically zombie creatures that roam the underground, and there are a lot of them with metallic flesh amalgamation appearances. They're very interesting. We can talk about Mercury and Venus on a later part of this video, but I'll be focusing on CARE and EXO. There are several overseers of specific parts of the CARE ruling. There is one for Earth, the Moon, Mars, inner space, and the management of it all. Each has an individual and powerful sentient robot called overseers leading them. CARE A, main leadership, has the overseer Maxis. CARE B controls inner space, overseer Null. CARE C controls Earth, overseer Mono. CARE D controls Moon, overseer Duo. CARE E controls Mars, overseer Trio. This is organized by first conquered or first controlled. So they conquered Earth, then the moon, then Mars, and they started from a space station. There used to be more overseers, but due to circumstances, they are dead. Continuing, those are the overseers. They are just these big robots. I mean, they're not always big. I mean, Maxis is big. But anyways, fun fact, overseers see each other as siblings and care for each other deeply. They like to hold meetings and council meetings or whatever. They like talking to each other and taking care of each other. Currently, modern warfare consists of agents, robot individuals who were chosen or recruited forcefully due to having birth stars. Yeah, this is the part where we get into the magic system, which is birth stars. They are abilities granted via astronomical phenomena. It's caused by the alignment of the sun, the every other planet, the galaxy or something. I don't have a predetermined list of dates and what they correspond to, but I do have a TTRPG like setup for creating them, so I always know how to make some for characters based on their personalities and whatever. They're just abilities that I apply to little robot guys, little robot dudes, little robot gals that have abilities that look like big tough guys or big slanky guys. I like drawing them. I like doing stuff with them. I like making stories with them. Fun fact, birth stars are not very well understood and is referred to as astrogenealogy. Agents are individuals with abilities, sentient humanoid robots, usually humanoid, with gimmicks and all kinds of almost human-like appearances. They also exhibit human features such as being happy, like emotions, being able to eat, drink, and needing to go to the bathroom. Actually, they don't need to go to the bathroom. Yeah, I just scrapped that. Yeah, no, they don't need to go to the bathroom. I don't think they need to. I think they'll just digest the bones too in their food. EXO also has their own agents, and CUC. All of these agents, they fight each other. Modern warfare usually just consists of agents fighting each other. EXO, every month or so, invade and send death marks to cities, specific parts, and whatnot. Their main goal is to wither down the care system and retake humanity's heart for themselves. As care has been brutal when they conquered, the inner solar system, Earth has a remaining 100,000 humans living amongst 3 cities, Europe, New York, and Beijing, of which have a total population of 500,000 sentient robots as well, of which drink, eat like humans and they care about stuff, and they're just humans but just robots. It's interesting. Care values human features within their robots for some reason. Their fleets have personalities. They're controlled by AIs and like to relax at space stations and listen to music and whatever. So throughout time, warfare became smaller and more direct. Similar to how, or the opposite, not opposite, I have no idea if I don't know how to compare this, but in the 17th century, they always had these bright red coats, bright blue coats, bright green coats, whatever, and they would fight each other directly, always. They would have a flag, and they would find each other, or maybe go around each other, who knows, and kill each other. They don't like going around each other because that's stupid, and not stupid. It is smart, but it's You'll lose your prestige. Not as of right now, because technology just disallows them to sneak around, so they usually just have to warp to a specified, not warp, they don't actually warp, they take around a week to travel from planet to planet, and it's pretty fast, faster than how we have it. Continuing, there were thousands of soldiers, but now they were reduced to agents, powerful individuals rather than the masses. There are fleets of ships in space, although less than 100. There used to be fleets of millions of ships, but as technology got advanced, the two militaries became smaller and fought directly, or were in standoffs watching each other for the first strike. They like doing that, where they just park their ships next to each other, like at a distance, and they just watch each other. They scan each other's systems, determine each other as too strong or something, and they just wait for the other to attack first. Because whenever a ship attacks first, the other ship can react pretty much instantaneously, pull up their shield, and they would have technically less energy used up, so it's more efficient. And then the other ship has to recharge their lasers or rockets or whatever. So they have that issue where they have to do standoffs. Wait, who's the one who first strikes? Well, I forgot to mention something very important about these ground units, these agent units. They like to fight with swords, right? They usually like to fight with melee weapons, because with modern day technology of the 3000s, they dodge pretty easily to bullets and lasers and plasma rifles and whatever they use for ranged weapons. Of course, they still use ranged weapons, just not as much as they used to in the past. Here is this character named Curious. She is a agent, of course. We're talking about agents, and she here is depicted holding a sword and has a laser rifle on her side. She also wears these combat gear so she doesn't get striked in the face, and she looks pretty cool. She also has the ability to see in the past, well, like a couple days, and she uses that for investigating. So at first she was a cop and then became a agent. Alright, the hierarchy. So in the care system, we have overseers that oversee, they lead their sections or whatever. And then there's operators that manage officials and agents. And officials are like management, and then agents are direct soldiers, rescuers, and whatnot. So there's tiers of agents. Tier 1 agents are like, they like recruits. They do general stuff like police work and whatnot. Officials, they do management and whatnot. Unfortunately, there is rich people, poor people, and whatnot. Capitalism still is a thing, even if it's a utopia. Operators, they control specific parts, concepts, and whatever. So there's this war general called Ares from Mars. That's an example. The operators are split into many different things that they do, like economy, like just a bunch of stuff that they are just assigned to do for overseers. Overseers, they are the main leaders, and they just direct policies and influence, and they have 100% control. And I think I'm gonna do a part 2 if this gets enough support. The part 2, well, actually, I don't I will be doing a part 2 soon, where I explain the system history with Earth, Mars, and Mercury and whatnot. I'll be explaining all of their lore, and I'll be explaining how Earth became to be and whatnot. So bye bye. I will be going now. Good night.